What's going on, guys? It's your boy Zach No C here. Hope you guys are staying hydrated. And today we are going to be taking a look at this brand new record from Lil Tjay, Destined to Win. Let's get into it. Destined to Win is the sophomore album from rapper, zoomer, auto-tune crooner Lil Tjay. He's been gaining some attention in the mainstream over the past couple of years from a couple of semi-popular tracks as well as some high-profile features with the likes of Polo G and Pop Smoke, among others. So, while I've been aware of Lil Tjay for a little bit, this is admittedly my first time diving in to consume a full-length offering from him, and I'm just gonna cut the suspense right now, guys. I think this album is absolutely f***ing garbage. Like, I just do not understand the hype whatsoever. That's right, no more Mr. Nice Critic. I didn't come here to cap for y'all because I'm scared you're gonna yell at me. This is no cap zone. It's no cap zone, god damn it. So if you came here to hear me praise this album, I'm sorry, that's just not gonna happen. I have very few nice things to say about this record whatsoever. I guess I woke up this morning and I chose violence and now I'm here doing this. While going through the writing process for this review, I listened to this album like 12 or 13 times just over and over again, trying to find some redeeming quality that would justify me even writing this review in the first place. And I swear to God, by the last handful of times I had to sit myself down and put myself through this entire record front to back, and by the end of it, it felt like I was being fucking waterboarded. The whole album is just so underwritten, so poorly performed, so shoddily mixed, so unimaginative, so derivative. It barely even has an excuse to be an album, let alone an album that stretches for 21 songs and almost 59 minutes. Most glimmers of enjoyment I felt while I was listening to this record completely lost their luster on repeat listens, and I have to make it clear that exactly 0% of them came courtesy of Tjay. If it weren't for Polo G and Fivio Foreign on Headshot as well as Black on Calling My Phone, I wouldn't even say there's a single song in this track list that exhibits any hit potential whatsoever, which honestly is shocking to this sort of album to not even have like one track to just nail it down and get it to chart. Almost every instrumental on this project sounds like it was purchased off YouTube for the lowest price possible and they didn't even cop the tracked out lease. The record is just chocked full of these dime a dozen painfully generic trap beats that don't incorporate anything unique whatsoever. Depending on the track, Tjay just kind of copycats whatever contemporary he feels like ripping off on that moment and never really puts together anything that doesn't really toe the line of like plagiarism or something. On some tracks, he sounds like Polo G, if Polo G completely forgot spontaneously how to incorporate compelling topics or storytelling into his songwriting. On other tracks, he sounds like a blatant Young Thug ripoff, if Young Thug only played with like 1 or 2 vocal inflections ever and never did anything experimental with his voice. He even sounds like Akon sometimes, if Akon had absolutely 0 personality and couldn't write a hook to save his life. Like, Tjay's voice isn't even enjoyable to me. It's just so high and nasally, and it's mixed so thin on every track that it honestly just hurts my ears more than anything. From the second this album starts, it is just painfully obvious how little effort went into making it. The title track that serves as an intro is over in literally a minute and basically just features Tjay like Cuddy moaning for a few seconds and then spitting like a 4-bar chorus with a bunch of like random ad-libs worked into the background, and then it's just done. That's it. There's no verse. There's literally 4 bars on the entire track and Cuddy moans. That is the song. That is the introduction to this album. 4 bars and Cuddy moans. It's a completely pointless moment on the LP, and honestly, the fact that it barely gets better from here is just embarrassing considering how low the bar was set. Born to Be Great is a pretty good tone setter, I guess, in the sense that it's a complete ripoff of Polo G without anything in the way of a catchy hook or a compelling narrative, much like the way that half of the songs on this record are. Calling My Phone switches the artist that Lil Tjay is bastardizing over to Young Thug, reaching about the same artistic height as Thugger's most boring, unimaginative, and unfinished internet leaks. Once again, in the same way that almost half the songs on this album are. By the time the black feature on the track comes on, I'm just so happy to be hearing somebody that isn't completely mediocre that even though it isn't even a particularly good black feature, it sounds like a f***ing Tupac verse by comparison. My opinions on the remainder of the album are pretty much just a cycle of these same handful of critiques. There are shockingly few catchy hooks to speak of, shockingly few compelling verses, there's shockingly few beats that are even remotely worth the attention they demand. I mean, I don't get it, man. I just don't get this album. The literal only song that I could say is worth going out of your way to listen to on this entire record is Headshot with Polo G and Fivio Foreign, mainly because TJ is only on the song for the last 45 seconds, which gives Fivio space to do his thing, and Polo G some time to show the listener what his style is actually supposed to fucking sound like. The beat is still pretty generic New York drill, but I mean, by comparison, it's probably the most unique thing on this entire record, and it does bump in the whip, I guess. Outside of this track, though, I pretty much hate or am at least indifferent towards every single moment on this LP that isn't a feature. TJ does absolutely nothing for me at all. He has so little in the way of artistic vision that I can't find anything to enjoy about his music at all. The album feels like it was designed with just the lowest effort possible, with the intention of just running up some streams a couple times and getting Columbia a check. It's so repetitive, it's so devoid of original ideas, it is so unenjoyable, it's just all filler, no killer, period. So, all in all, it will surprise no one after watching this that I fucking hated this record. I think it's straight up garbage, and now that I've finally been able to put out this review, I swear to God, I am never ever listening to it again. Even if you're a diehard fan of this kind of music, I just can't understand why you would see anything of merit in this record outside of maybe a couple of features. Alright, so yeah, with that being said, my final score for Destined to Win is... Thanks to everybody who watched the review. I swear to God, you better smash that like button and sub to the channel if you're not already, as a thank you to me for putting myself through this to entertain you. Hit the bell to get notified whenever I upload new videos, and follow me over on Instagram @_NoCNotes for access to all of my exclusive live streams and other content. I appreciate you coming by, guys. Thank you for watching NoCNotes. My name is Zach NoC. Stay hydrated, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace. I need a fucking, pillow to scream into.